Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Developers, what is going on? Is there a hiring freeze or a hiring frenzy in software development right now? Are tech companies even hiring? Today's topic on Real Tough Candy. Welcome to another rousing live stream. I'm so glad you could join us. We're doing a live stream every night until we hashtag flatten that curve, smash that curve here in the States. Could be a few more weeks, could be a few more months. Who really knows? We've been having some great conversations in the live chat. And if you are watching this on replay after the live is done, be sure to enable that chat section, the chat box, because there's a lot of good chat going on. Welcome, new subscribers and old schoolers alike. I'm RTC, and you have entered the Real Tough Candy live stream zone. Before we get it started, I have three quick announcements. No live stream would be complete without some shameless product placement. I did it all for the JavaScript. What? The JavaScript who? Cups, t-shirts. I got stickers. Oh, baby, I got hoodies. And other designs available on CandyScript. It's my Teespring store. Paradoodly-doo, our mod extraordinaire, is going to be popping that link for all your merch needs. A lot of those stimulus checks are coming into the bank accounts. So if you need to dress yourself with some tech gear, check out CandyScript. Keep the economy going. Our announcements. Number one, our very own Vlaslo took the plunge last night. He is our 20th patron, and he has unlocked that level. And now that he is the number 20 on the Patreon list, we're going to be doing monthly Patreon member-only videos. Only patrons get those videos. Going to be doing some other bonuses once we hit a level with the YouTube channel members as well. Once we hit 20 YouTube channel members, we're going to be giving you some bonuses with that. So thank you, Vlaslo, for your support. Number two, Anchor.fm. Guess who's on it now? Last night, I started a podcast. Now, right now, it is not completely original content. I want to give the disclaimer. Right now, the Real Tough Candy show on Anchor.fm they're audio rips of these live streams. And one thing I do a lot different than other live streamers is that you'll notice a lot of times in the live streams that the producer or the talent will take 3 or 4 minutes to just read comments. I like to keep it moving, so it is good for audio. Now, there are a few things that make it a little under-optimized for a true blue in-studio podcast, but if you want the audio, check it out. Paradoodly-doo is going to pop that too. And eventually, I want to go back to doing a dedicated podcast where we do have guests. We're talking about topics just with MP4 action. But this is kind of cool too. Announcement number 3. This afternoon, I just wrapped up an interview with an engineer at Twitter. He received offers from Microsoft, Twitter, and Amazon. I asked him all about it. He didn't graduate from a Ivy League university. He doesn't know all these people in high places. He grinded, like he climbed the. I was gonna say clumbed. He climbed the ropes. He climbed the ropes, and he's been at Twitter, I think he said, for about 3 years now. That interview is coming out this weekend as a premiere. Instead of a live stream, we'll be doing a premiere. I'm thinking Saturday or Sunday evening, Central Standard Time. So that is all I got. Let's do a roll call, and we're going to talk about it. Who's hiring? Who's not? Should you even be applying to these developer jobs? Oh my gosh, this chat is already en fuego. Welcome, Sammy, Vlaslo, Ted Frick. What? Sarah, back at it. Sarah is our other mod over at Discord. She's also modding here on YouTube today. Thanks, Sarah, for showing up. Vlaslo says his company is hiring two new juniors. Can't speak. His company is hiring 2 new juniors, and he is based in finance world. Richard Me 123. Hey, I recognize you from Discord. Nice to see you. He says it's late. I don't need sleep. I need answers. I love it. Tech Rally, I'm making a similar video this week. Awesome. Yeah, people, go check out Tech Rally's channel. He's a senior developer. He has some really good videos. What's up, Michael Peer? Great to see everyone here so far. 31 people. If you are tuning in, please be sure to hit a button. It helps ensure I can keep making these videos. Please hit that like button and we will be rolling. All right, everyone's here for the answer. Are tech companies really hiring? Yes, have a good night. I stole that from Blaslow. But yes, tech companies are hiring, tech companies are laying off. It's both of them. It's both of them. And I have a few things here to show you that are very interesting. I'm here over at candor.co/hiring-freezes. I might actually, if you want to follow along with this, I'll just pop it in the comment section really quick and you can take a look for yourself. This is kind of cool because they are updating it in real time. And there are a ton of companies here of varying statuses, as in hiring freeze, or completely just going off the deep end and doing layoffs. I don't want anyone to panic though, because honestly, as we've already seen in the comments here, a lot of these companies are hiring no matter what. There's always going to be a need for senior developers. It's always been tough for juniors. Oops, I don't want to show this one just yet. It's always been tough for juniors. Juniors might be seeing a little more trouble than the typical mid-level or senior, but companies are still hiring. Vlaslo just said he's in the finance sector. His company's hiring 2 juniors. I think he had mentioned that a few lives ago. So the opportunities are out there. And I want to just say from, yes, this is what people might call anecdotal evidence, but I've heard more stories of this nature than the opposite. I have heard more stories, people coming up and saying, RTC, I have an interview coming up. RTC, I just got out of an interview. I have 2 interviews coming up next week. I know, 4 or 5 people just in the last 3 days who have told me they have an interview coming up, whether a DM in Discord, on a YouTube comment. I mean, it's actually more than I get in a typical week. And most of these developers are juniors looking for their first job. So that is anecdotal evidence. It doesn't confirm or really deny anything. Just that from what I've been seeing, whatever the media is telling you is probably not accurate. We have to go to the source. And so this is one of the sources. This is from, again, candor.co and the statuses of some of these companies. Now, within the notes, they will mention who they're hiring for. These aren't just for tech companies. These are for, I think it's just kind of like a open database for people to contribute no matter what the sector, no matter what career field they're in. But Candor does, I'll just show you what they are just to give you some context. They do salary negotiation for FANG companies and FANG level, aspiring FANG software engineers. So let's just go through a few of these. 1Password's on a hiring freeze. This was updated April 15th. Candidate in process was notified there is a hiring freeze. So someone came to this database or this spreadsheet or contacted whoever's in charge of this and said, yeah, I was in the process of interviewing and now there's a hiring freeze. So that's 1Password. But right here on 2K, we go down 2 more. Status is hiring. Hiring for both publishing and studios. Most of these companies we probably haven't heard of. And these are smaller companies, startups, maybe some MAPAs in here, maybe. But I'm thinking more established companies and Fortune 500s and startups. A&E Networks, 3 reports of hiring freezes. Some of these aren't going to come as a surprise. It really depends also on the industry. Because if you're a web developer for a cruise line right now, you're probably out of work. Or any sort of transportation business, I guess I should qualify that. Flights, airline industry, any kind of massive, the tourism, not so good. Let's check out Airbnb. I can't even imagine they'd be doing any hiring right now, but I could be wrong. Let's see if we can... I guess I could just filter it. Look, there's a lot of freaking companies in here. Add filter. We'll do Airbnb. Airbnb, yeah. Hiring freeze, yet hiring. Multiple reports of continued hiring and a hiring freeze. See below. What's below? Hiring freeze. Okay. Last modified today, geez, 4 minutes ago. That's an interesting, that's kind of like maybe an anomaly. Let's check out Google. Hiring and hiring freeze. Company-wide memo sent announcing a hiring slowdown on 4/15. Further developing reports below. Yeah, but they still are hiring. It's just that they're slowing it down. Again, it really depends on the industry, perhaps on the country. Not really sure on that though. So here's another, where do we want to go? Let's clear this out. There are just a ton of companies on here. I'm not even past the A's yet. Alarm.com hiring, Alaric Co hiring, global hiring freeze, Asco Nobel, Aldi's hiring for store associates, offers rescinded for the Alexander Group. Let's see if we can really pick out some tech companies. Allstate Insurance, right? Hiring with the hiring freeze, multiple reports of continued hiring and a hiring freeze. This is just a huge list. So I guess I should get this out of the way before too long and stop stringing people along. Don't stop applying to jobs. Even as a junior, if there's a job listing, wherever you find it, and you feel like you might be a good fit, you're feeling like this could be something you can do, apply for it. Apply for the job and just see what happens. Dr. Candice has a Facebook interview coming up on the 21st. That's in 5 days. And this is the height, the first wave, the height of the first wave. And she's killing it. She interviews remotely in 5 days. A lot of these companies are doing remote reviews, or remote interviews, rather, reviews. Ugh, oy vey. So this is the other sheet I wanted to show you. This is a layoff referral list. A lot of people in tech are really stepping up and wanting to network and help with people who have been laid off. This is a list of people who have made their information public. I guess, no surprise here, this list was getting spammed. I love the all caps, stop spamming us. This list has not been made private. You cannot copy and paste data, stop spamming us. I mean, honestly, what did they expect? What did they really expect with names and LinkedIn profiles and prior companies? This is data a lot of people want. Prior roles, most of these people, I think this is all tech-based, data architect, senior software engineer, relational or rotational leadership development, some students. And the thing is to remember too, with these people who don't have jobs, just because they're on some of these lists doesn't mean they've been laid off due to what's going on right now. This could be just part of the company. Not all of these companies have been succeeding, and they were naturally going to come to this fate. Now, granted, probably the majority of these are because of what's going on right now, but I'm just saying, we don't really know the entire story behind these companies and behind these layoffs. Some people may have just been fired yesterday because they didn't show up or were doing a bad job for the past 2 months. We don't know the story. All we know is that they're on this layoff referral list. Some of these companies, not surprising to see though. There was, where was it? WeWork. I mean, don't work at WeWork. They're in big trouble. But I mean, we really don't know. Vice Media, no surprise there either. They've been doing a lot of, like I said, many of these companies have naturally come to this point where they are doing layoffs. The media industry, they're doing well right now, but in general, they're a sinking ship. So let's go to the comments and see what everyone is saying. Bree Powered, what's going on? Sarah says, I hope the airlines and other companies that are currently in slow motion are working on their systems, aka updating. Paul Coiler, what's going on? Perhaps on the region of a country paradoodly do says, I know a few people that have interviewed just to get that part out of the way, then go through all the hiring paperwork once the lockdown is lifted. Interesting. Jovan, what's going on? Nice to see you. How are folks having interviews remote? Absolutely. Psychotic TV, there is a lack of COBOL programmer's dilemma. I'll bet they hire anyone that knows COBOL. I'm glad you brought that up. We were talking about this the other day in a live stream. The Bayless Code and someone else had posted a video in the Discord about COBOL because these older systems, these mainframe systems, these antique government, state government systems are very old school. They run on really old languages and they haven't been updated. And there is absolutely no way that these code bases are going to be rewritten in something functional anytime soon. We need people who know the old style of doing things. And honestly, for a lot of situations, these older languages are doing just fine. Like if it was really, truly coming to a grinding halt with these tools and technologies from back in the day, we would have seen an upgrade or at least some sort of an attempt at patching these problems. But you know, I'll be the first to admit some of these web apps, these government web apps, are really funny. There was one web app I saw the other week. I shared it on Discord. It was, I don't remember what it was for, Department of Agriculture or something. The application would only run in Internet Explorer. It was so funny. It was, I think it was like a Flash-based app. It was, or Java applet, probably something like that. But it was only available in Internet Explorer. It was a hoot. But yeah, COBOL, if you, calling all people who know COBOL out of retirement, that's a big opportunity too. The United States government, and I don't know about other states, other countries rather, what their systems are built on, but I would imagine they're facing some pretty big shortages right now as far as getting all these claims processed. There is no way the current employee numbers can handle all of these requests. But yeah, let's go to some more comments. Good to see everyone in the chat. Sammy Turner says, RTC, how did you collate that list? I'd like to make a list of companies that are hiring and laying off local to me. I actually just, I just found this. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if I should share this link because it says now it's private and I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. So I don't want to continue to do something wrong. But when I clicked on it, it said, you can look at this. So just Google tech layoffs. I think I found this on blind.com or blind.co. I don't know. I'm kind of facing a scruple right now. I'm hesitant to share this link in the chat. But it appears that I can still see all this stuff. So I really don't know. Free referrals on rooftop slushy. Where's my rooftop slushy? But this has, you know what? Let me just go back. Is this from Blind? I don't know. But there's like layoff status, referral forms. Here's some resources. This is a huge thing. So companies hiring, oh, look at this. Look at this, developers. I didn't know this existed. I'll go ahead and share this. Let me share this one. This is a list of companies, of startups hiring right now. Figma, Chime, Notion, Clockwise, 1Password, Webflow, Roblox. Roblox, come on, Airtable. Tandem, Daily.co, Zoom. You know they need a lot of people for that. Slack, Twilio, TikTok, Netlify. Sammy, Netlify. I know, with that spelled action. Let's go see what they're hiring for. Let's see who Netlify wants on their team right now, April 16th. Let's see. Look at all this. Look at this. Look at this. So they need an account executive, application security engineer, backend engineer, data engineer, backend engineering manager, site reliability engineer for engineering management, financial operations, platform engineer, senior product manager, SRE, UX and design manager, and your dream job. Some of these companies let you apply when they don't have an exact opening for who you are or what you do. I think that is so cool. I've seen this in a few different places. I think I saw this on GitLab too. I actually interviewed with them. Obviously didn't get the job, but they're kind of a cool company in that way because from my recollection, they had an opening that was permanent for that one person who may just slither up to their offices and be the one. to add massive value to their company. And I think this might be a situation here. Exactly. Yep. Don't see an opening that's right for you. Sounds like you're interested in us, but we don't have an open role that matches your background. We're a fast growing company and we're always looking to add new talent. If you provide us with your information, this will allow us to add you to our prospect pool and consider you in the future once a position opens up. We recently raised $53 million in Series C funding. Exactly. And developers, just because we're facing this right now, a lot of these startups have a lot of cash to spend. They don't have time. They don't have the resources to actually go on a hiring freeze. Like, they have to hire right now, no matter what. A lot of these startups are under a serious deadline as far as getting up and running, getting developers and engineers in their positions to build their company. They cannot wait 3 and 4 months for that to happen. I was reading an article the other day about Airbnb. They were just about to go public. I don't know how that's even going to be viable. They haven't turned a profit in the last 4 years, and yeah, they borrowed like they've borrowed, I think, $2 billion. Their first $1 billion they borrowed, 10% interest rate. Their company's screwed. Yep. And that was perhaps coming even before all of this. I would not advise anyone to apply at Airbnb. Follow your dream. But all things considered, I would just actually, okay, follow your dream, but do your research. Maybe that's a more appropriate thing to say. But look, there's quite a few companies on here. Well, I mean, it's not a million, but it's a good start. It's a good start with this. Atlassian. Design. Who's hiring in design? Figma, Notion, Chime, Roblox, Fast, and Linear. This is not a big list by any means, but like I said, it's a good start. Let's go back to this resource page and see who's hiring. Okay, this is actually maybe where I found the spreadsheet in the first place. Okay, a lot of these places have these types of lists, and I think this is different than this one. These are both Airtables, but this one's from Candor.co, and this is from teamblind.com. Washington Post Jobs is hiring in ops, business strategy, data science. Chewy.com, software engineer and product manager. They said this is in real time too. So Instacart, no, that's not a surprise. Going back to how we're talking about certain industries, any type of delivery. Developers, I need to interject with this too. Last night, I got a DM from someone on the Discord. I know this guy. And he had told me, he was like, I'm doing this freelance thing. You were right about this business picking up. I'm like, can you please share this in the general so people know I'm not full of hot air, like I'm not full of crap? He was doing cold calls and cold emails about freelance web development, and he has landed a client. And he's doing freelancing now. I think full-time right now. I don't want to put words into his mouth. But he made the connection with this company, and I'm super excited for this guy. He, which course did he take? Freelance Newbie or How to Get a Job in Web Development? I'm not sure, but either way, we did a freelancing special the other night, and it was filled with information. Check it out if you haven't. Paradoodly-doo. Please share the link to Freelance Newbie book and course. I have had my sales on that course this month have skyrocketed, and I don't think it's a coincidence. Number one, people are wanting to know how to make money in non-traditional, unconventional ways, i.e. not a 9-to-5. And there is so much need for freelance web developers right now. Someone was like, well, how do you expect some of these countries to want web developers if they can't even afford it? I mean, you don't have to charge money. What if you barter? What do we do when times get tough? We barter. We do things for free so we can build our portfolio up. It's about the cash, but if you can't get cash, there's always some other way. So just keep that in mind. Cash is king, but there's always some other way. There's always something you can work out. Chevron Federal Credit Union, Autodesk, Equinix, TikTok is hiring, y'all. Product manager, MasterCard. I don't need to go through all of these. PepsiCo, these are some big companies though. Teamblind.com is all about the Fang life. You don't really, I'm hit and miss with this site. I tried to register, but they were like, you need an employer email. You can't just like use Gmail because that's not professional. Like, I just want to read your silly thread about Fang's hiring. Like, it's not that serious. But you know, this site does have value for a lot of people, so I shouldn't be so hard on it. Let's check out the comments. Checking in, Sherry Boer, what is up? Donovan too. We have multiple YouTube channel members and patrons in the chat. Thanks for joining. ASDFJKL. It seems to me that these companies are using this recession to drop their developers and hire replacements at lower pay, less or no stock options, etc. Source, please. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not agreeing. But if you could link me, I would like to read more about that. Sammy Turner says Roblox are hiring. Ooh, it's true. It's true. Randy Miller. Randy Miller is another one of our newest patrons. I do freelance projects for free when I'm learning new software during the project. Totally. Yeah, and I mean, that is something we talk about in Freelance Newbie. It's not shameful to do something for free or very low cost, because your freelance portfolio, that's going to be a big factor in selling your services. You need to have that base so potential clients can see that you're the real deal. You don't have to have projects right out the gate that are totally face melting. Eventually you'll get there, but you need to have something to show them that you're not just, you know, the typical huckster, shuckster. What is it, huckster or shuckster? I like both of those. The typical, just, they want to know you're not a scam. And by having a freelance portfolio, that is one big thumbs up factor for you, and it increases your trust factor. Developers, the chat is lit as usual. George Meehan Dev says, I have to be careful with that. Sorry I'm late, I was stuffing my face. I hear you. ASDF JKL said, I said what I said because that's what happened in the last recession. Companies drop people, hire replacements at lower pay. Gotcha. Totally. Yep. We do see that happening here stateside, and it's a dirty trick, and it is not good. Let's go to these comments. Rick does it. What's up, Rick? Just going through these comments here. Michael Hamilton, how are you tonight? What's going on? A lot of companies hiring here in the Valley. Is that Phoenix, PHX? In the old Southwestern United States. Yeah, and I can tell you too, in the Midwest, we have had some serious closures, right? This is like, California is the breadbasket of America, but also is the Midwest. We've had some closures, indefinite closures, interrupting some very critical services. However, there are some areas that remain unaffected. A lot of areas actually. And one of the big benefits of being a software engineer is that you can work from home. Whereas if you're working on an assembly line, you have to physically be there. And those are the areas that are getting hit the hardest because of that physical proximity. Lack of gear for these people is just, it's absolutely terrible. It's negligent. But being a software developer, we can do our thing at our home, in our attic, feeling precious, in our living room, wearing flannel llama pajamas. It's wonderful. And I know everyone's lives, every one of us, our lives have been impacted in one way, shape, or form, but people are still hiring, companies are still hiring, and to give up on that dream or defer your dream of getting a job, I wouldn't be so hasty to do that. Even in the chat, Flazo said his company's hiring 2 junior devs. Is it me, or is RTC freezing up? George, how am I? I do like a really pixelated impersonation right there. Can you hear me? Sorry. Getting a little goofy. Paradoodly doo, been working on my Easter candy today. Randy Miller, I got to his comment already. Sorry about that. Sammy Turner says salaries are on the up and up. The difficulty with the tech industry isn't so much lower compensation as firms only hiring seniors. Oh, okay, that was a question. Flannel PJs with llamas on, that's living the dream right there. Sammy, I'm telling you, once you go llama pajama, you don't go back. Just saying. Let's check out a few more of these resources. If you're just joining us tonight in the live chat, joining us for the live stream, welcome. We are talking about hiring frenzy or hiring freeze. Which one is it? This is such a binary world we live in, isn't it? It's always one or the other. There's never any in-betweensies. But in reality, it's kind of both. We're seeing the hiring freezes. We're seeing the hiring frenzies. Tell you what, companies like Uber Eats probably really need some more people right now. Instacart, grocery stores. Layoff aid, hiring freeze tracker. Okay, we went to that one. Hiring layoff master list. Blind, who's hiring? We checked that one out. Discussions. Airbnb layoffs. Developers, this little site, I'll tell you. This is from March 20th. Okay, so this is about a month ago, but we're going to read it anyway. This could be interesting. Heard from many sources that there are going to be layoffs at Airbnb first week of April. Is it true? More like May, investor talks delayed things. Yeah, and I mean, they're really, if you've been keeping up with the Airbnb just going public and their business dealings, very interesting. It's super dramatic. If you like business drama, check out Airbnb's last 4 months. The platform is glitchy, blah, blah, blah. Someone said we're laying off 75% of our engineers. Turns out it's pretty easy to run a crud website. It's hard to tell who's trolling and who's being honest in this. Rumors are flying around. I wouldn't be surprised if a random guy jumps out and says eBay is laying off 50%. And then this person says no, there are no layoffs or actual rumors of layoff, no leaks, no hints, nothing. What's happening is that people are seeing a downturn in business and speculating that layoffs might result. That's it. This is exacerbated by the fact that almost all Airbnb engineers are too young to have gone through the financial crisis. Blind is becoming an echo chamber of worried junior engineers that don't understand how business or layoffs work. Like, this is kind of like Reddit 2.0. There are a lot of gatekeepers and a lot of keyboard warriors on this site, so I'm hesitant to recommend people visiting it. And also, too, who really knows if these people work where they say they do? But sometimes the threads are interesting, and sometimes we come across little gems like these. Wayfair layoffs, Expedia. Yeah, these are just discussion boards, so I really don't need to be here right now. Let's go back to this list. We're on the A's. What else? What else? Okay, here's another one I have for you. When I interviewed the software engineer at Twitter today, he's been there for 3 years. I asked him about this. I said a lot of my subscribers are interested in knowing what's really going on. So what's going on on your side of the table? And he said, we're hiring. Straight up. Let's see what the filter will tell us. Madame Filter, tell us. Tell us, Madame Filter. Hiring freeze and hiring. Multiple reports of hiring continuing, and claims of hiring freezes. So this is, I mean, honestly, this is all based on people's firsthand inputs and rumors. So unless you see the company putting out an ad for needing software developers, I would take these lists with a grain of salt. I think they are interesting. I think they can add insight. But as far as confirmed, you have to hear it from the company. You have to hear it from the company. And even though, I gave my anecdotal evidence of these people saying, yeah, we're hiring, and I believe them. Like, I believe the people who tell me this. We have great relationships. We have great working relationships. But if you really want to know for sure, contact the company. Contact the hiring manager. They will tell you. Or if they don't, they're probably really busy. but that's one way of getting a for sure confirmation. Any welders here? They're hiring at Abtrex. Look at all these companies. I wonder how this person got all this information. There's almost 7,000 companies in here. Applebee's. Oh snap. AppSumo. Oh no. They're on a hiring freeze and offers rescinded. Dude. Thankfully, we're not seeing a lot of these reports in this. Offer rescinded, what that means is someone got an offer for a job and then the company called them back and said, I'm sorry, we have to take back that offer. We're not hiring right now. It's horrible. People put their entire lives on hold to get jobs at some of these places, and to hear that their offer has been rescinded, it's not something you ever want to hear. Applied Medical, offers rescinded for internships, and one report of a hiring freeze. Applied VR, wow, Applied VR reported layoff on 1/3 of workforce. Again, we don't know if these things are accurate. Let's go here and check. I really am curious at the veracity of these claims. Okay, they're saying they're laying off, but yet they have 3 openings. So maybe they're laying off a certain company, or a certain department rather. But reported layoff of 1/3 of workforce. I don't know. I can't say for sure. Arista Networks, offers rescinded. 1 intern, software engineer. I think, yeah, a lot of internships right now, they just can't handle them. They just can't handle the risk of an internship because, generally speaking, interns aren't adding that much value to the company. And right now, companies are trying to get that money. They're trying to get the more bang for their buck. ASOS, hiring freeze and offers rescinded in London. But yeah, this list goes on. It's pretty interesting. I get updates too. This is what I love about the modern web. And this is just such a relief for those of us who remember the old school web, where we didn't have Ajax. And we'd have to refresh our screen and refresh every time we wanted to see an update. Now it just does it for us. Barnes & Noble, hiring freeze, not a surprise there. Anything retail, even software developer jobs, anything retail is in trouble right now. Not good. And again, a lot of these companies were already on the edge. A place like GameStop, guys, they were marching towards bankruptcy. And I think part of the reason they didn't close for so long and considered themselves an essential business, because they're not opening back up. GameStop is probably, in my opinion, I don't think GameStop will be opening back up. I think they're done. And they held out for a long time because once this happened, once they once they flipped the switch on the lights, they're not coming back. In fact, let's see right now. Let's try and filter this and see what they say. GameStop. Anything? Nothing? No reports on GameStop? Come on. Rockstar Games is hiring. GTA alert. Hiring at Rockstar Games have been in process for over a month now. Human resources has slowed down, but still hiring. Epic Games. Look, because what are people doing at home? They're bored. They're playing games. They're playing a lot of games. All these companies, except Big Fish Games, reported a hiring freeze was reported. What about Netflix? I can kind of guess that they are not on a hiring freeze. Well, okay, currently hiring and actively interviewing for a variety of roles, officially confirmed by Netflix. Okay, that's all I needed to know. Let's check this out. This is another company that has just gotten so much traffic, getting so many clicks these last 2 months or so. Let's see the jobs. Give us the jobs. What web? Can we do web? Look at this. Look at this list. 2 whole pages, developers. And as Sammy pointed out, it's a seniors world. We have senior software engineers, full stack over in Los Gatos, California. Sunny California, mobility and employment manager, a senior full stack. These are all Cali jobs. But the point is, there's quite a few of them right now. senior software engineer, playback data systems, tech ops specialist in Brazil, tech ops support, animation studio technology. Oh yeah, this is going to be looking like this for the indefinite future, in my opinion. This is any type of media company, except unless it's an old media company. New media streaming services are en fuego right now. They need software developers. Let's go to the comments. Michael Hamilton says GTA 6 has been confirmed. Rick Cable says even healthcare and freeze. We can only treat essential medical services. It's bad. Yeah, I know. Michael says good. GameStop is a ripoff. I know, right? And they treat their employees so terribly. That's all. End rant. Random Cat says, just wanted to say thanks to you. I was accepted for the free 6 months at Zero to Mastery. Thank you and lots of love. Happy Cat. Great. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm not happy to hear that you needed to apply to that program, but I am happy to hear that you're taking advantage of it. That's great. Andre's a great instructor. I'm a total fangirl. I endorse his courses. I endorse what he does. And he's helped so many people, and I'm glad you could take advantage of that. Someone hit me up in the chat last night too, and they said they got accepted. So it's good. It's so good that people are making the best of it and getting into a career field, using this education, using these opportunities to level up. I love it. It's why I do this. It's great. If you are just joining us, we're talking about tech companies. Are they freezing? Are they firing? It turns out it's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. We have a lot of industries right now that are totally shut down. We would probably not generally recommend you check those out right now. On the other hand, we have a lot of industries that are absolutely popping. And they are hiring. We also talked about freelancing for a bit. We just touched upon it. Because really you can't hire yourself. You can't fire yourself when you're a freelancer. But that is a huge vector right now. That's a huge slice of opportunity. Paradoodly-doo, for those who missed it the first time, tell them again. Freelance Newbie, top-rated course on Udemy. I've had record sales this month. It's been so awesome to hear and so great to see people's review of it and how they're enjoying it. And there are ways around meeting in person. As the person who DM'd me last night, he has a client. He was cold calling and cold emailing, and that's something we talked about in that freelancer live stream. It is filled with methods, techniques, and insight. If you could, Paradoodly, I don't want to turn you into a link machine, but for those who missed the freelance live stream and are interested in freelancing, just to see these opportunities. We checked out Charleston, South Carolina, we checked out Atlanta, and we checked out Morocco. And we were brainstorming with these ideas. I focused on food delivery, but honestly, any industry that has a physical good right now, you can be a part of because people want that contactless delivery. Not everyone is using Grubhub or PubScrub. What are some of these other apps? Uber Eats, not a lot of people don't use those. And so there's a lot of opportunity. Rick Cable says, my company is on a hiring freeze. Rayan says, are we in a depression? Will it be difficult for entry-level developers to find jobs? Does the competition now increase tenfold? As far as will it be difficult for entry-level developers to find jobs? That's a great question. And the truth is, it's always difficult for new developers to find jobs because companies don't want juniors. It's just the hard, cold truth that no one wants to hire a junior. No one wants to pay for a junior. And so the odds are already stacked against juniors. Every company wants someone to be 20 years old with 40 years of experience in a technology that's existed for 6 months. Oh yeah, and can you start at $14 an hour? That's what companies want. And actually, they'd want to start you out at $0 an hour. That's just the nature of the game. So we have to really be proactive. And there are companies out there that do hire juniors because they do add a certain value. It's true. Juniors aren't architecting big projects. They're not talking directly with big-time stakeholders, usually. and they play more of a passenger role or a backseat role with the team until they level up. That's not always true with every company, but by and large, your first year as a developer, you're in learning mode. You are contributing though, and that's why they hire you at a lower wage relative to mid-level and senior. This is true for any industry, because while you are learning, you're also doing things that the mid-level and seniors don't have time to do. Senior engineers don't have time to tweak a CSS file for 3 hours just to get that perfect yellow. That's more of a junior job, junior task. And it's very important. But the company doesn't want to pay a senior $500 to go tweak a CSS file. That's something more along the lines of a junior developer. And so you get the picture. That's, just one simple example of that. I know it sounds maybe stereotypical, but you just can't give up. I know most people have applied to 50, 60, 70 jobs before they got their first junior role. And this was in like bustling times. We still are relative to before this explosion in tech, there was a time when the web wasn't that big a deal. The web is the deal right now. The web is everyone's reality. And it's only going to get more pervasive, more expansive. And there are so many opportunities for juniors if you look past the handicap of being a newbie. So, developers, it's 5:51. Let's check out the comments, and then we're gonna shut it down. Rick Does It says, should I do freelancing, internship, or junior developer first? Good question. I would say freelancing, because that way you can get experience, real world experience. I mean, junior developer and internship is still going to give you experience, but having real world projects to show your potential employer is going to give you a huge leg up. And right now, as we saw in some of these lists, internships are not doing so hot right now, because they are, generally speaking, the lowest on the lowest tier when it comes to providing value to that company. So they have to cut the lowest tiers out. And I wouldn't even know how I could find. We could do like intern. Well, I need more information to like support my claim right now, but I know we went over it. Internship is a little dicey right now. So that's one I would kind of take out of the mix. Junior developer, you're always going to have a better chance against other juniors if you have a portfolio. And the more real world projects you have, the more you automatically show your employer you've gone through that process of solving a real problem. So my money's on freelancing, and then bringing that if the freelancing isn't something you're digging and you can't do it full time, or you don't want to do it full time, I would just get 4 or 5 projects, maybe 2 or 3 of those freelance, and then bring it to an interview. And there's going to be a difference in how you interview, how you interpret your question. Yes. They're freezing. Yes. They're fumbling to hire you. It all depends on the company and the industry. Do not stop applying. Many people I know are taking advantage of freelancing right now. In the next few days, next few weeks, numerous people in my immediate network are doing interviews. They're going to be remote interviews. Some people, I don't know why they're doing it. They're doing in-person interviews. Not my choice. But the point being, they're doing interviews. They're going to interviews. And these are all junior, some mid-level developers. So that is really good, encouraging news. Anecdotal, yes, I know. But I just wanted to share what I've been hearing. Developers, as always, continue the conversation on my Discord. It's one of the most robust tech communities online, in my opinion. Please be sure to read our code of conduct to keep it fun for everyone. We're almost up to 1,000 members, and I enjoy hearing from all of you and seeing what you're up to. Peace out. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to be doing another one of these. This weekend, we're publishing the video on the Twitter engineer who got offers from Microsoft, Amazon, and Twitter. He ultimately chose Twitter. I asked him why he chose Twitter. He actually was in one interview at one of these big tech companies, one of the FANGs. He said his interviewer fell asleep on him. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, he didn't go with that company. All right, developers, peace out. Donovan, I gotta write you. I'm gonna write you before the weekend. Donovan's gonna come on the show, and we're gonna talk about software development and web development. Take it easy, stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you in the next video.